Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel English with Rekha Mishra. In this lesson you will learn all about direct and indirect speech, or we can call it reported speech as well. So we can say that first of all we have to know what is direct speech and what is indirect speech. We can say that there are two ways of saying what someone else has said in the past, right? We speak others' words in two ways, or we can say that we may report the words of a person in two ways. What are these two ways? One is direct and other is indirect. When we quote the speaker's actual words without making any change, it is called direct speech. You can see here, John said, I am writing a letter. Here we have taken John's word accurately as he had said, right? As he said these words, we quoted them in the same manner. We did not do any modification here. These are the original words said by John. Next, indirect speech. When we report what somebody has said without using the actual words or the original words, it is called the indirect speech. And you know what happens? We don't always repeat other person's words exactly because words are not important. The message is important. So you can see here we have we have not taken the speaker's words exactly here. We have modified them. John said that he was writing a letter. Here we have used conjunction that after the reporting verb, and I became he and became was, because this reporting verb is in the past tense. That's why here we have modified the tense of the reported speech also. Now we will learn difference between direct speech and indirect speech. First difference we will learn here is that when we write direct speech, we always put quotation mark around the original words. What are quotation marks? You can see these, the inverted commas, or these are the quotation marks, right? These are the quotation marks. So what happens when we write direct speech? We always put quotation mark around the original words, Here you can see John said, I am writing a letter. I am writing a letter are the original words of John or of the speaker. So here we have used quotation mark around them, right? And in case of indirect, we don't use any quotation mark. You can see here, we have not used here any quotation mark. Next, in case of direct speech, we never use word that before the direct speech, or we can say that we don't use word or we don't use conjunction that before the direct speech. But in case of indirect speech, we use the word that or conjunction that before the indirect speech. You can see the example here. John said that he was writing a letter. Here we have used conjunction that. Now I will let you know about the structure of the sentence here. First of all, we have to know what is reporting speech, what is reporting verb, and what is reported speech. Said is here, or we can say that the verbs like said to, said, told, says, etc. in the sentence which comes before the comma are called reporting verb. These are called reporting verb. These verbs which comes before the comma and these are like said to, told, says, etc. These are reporting verb, right? But if I take it completely, John said, so we will call it reporting speech. John said is reporting speech, said is reporting verb. Now next, I am writing a letter. The words which comes after the comma or after the reporting verb and which are written in quotation, these are reported speech. Now we will learn rules for changing direct speech into indirect speech. Here we will learn how we can change direct speech into indirect speech in different ways or in different conditions. First of all, we will learn rules to change the tense in reported speech. Here what are we going to learn? We are going to learn rules to change the tense. We are going to learn rules to change the tense in reported speech. Here first rule is to change the tense in reported speech is simple present tense changes to past simple past tense. Make sure here reporting verb should be in past tense. Then only the simple present tense will be changed to simple past tense. You can see the example here. Direct speech. She said she sings well. And we have she sings well. Here this sentence she sings well is simple present. Now we have converted it into indirect speech. She said that she sang well. She sang well is simple past. Next is present continuous in the direct speech will be changed to past continuous in indirect speech. Here also the reporting verb should be in past. Then only the present continuous tense will be changed to past continuous. You can see the example. Mary said, my mother is cooking. Is cooking is present continuous. In indirect, how did we change it into indirect? Mary said that her mother was cooking. Here was cooking is past continuous. So we changed is cooking to was cooking while converting it into indirect speech, right? And after that, present perfect tense in direct speech changes to past perfect tense in indirect speech. You can see the example. Sam said, I have finished my lunch. I have finished my lunch. This sentence is present perfect, is showing present perfect tense, right? Because subject with has or have with third form of the verb is used only in case of present perfect tense. So, Sam said, I have finished my lunch will be changed into Sam said that he had finished his work. And he had finished his work is past perfect tense. It will happen only if the reporting verb is in the past tense. Next, will and shall in the future tense is changed into would and should. This also happens when the reporting verb in the direct speech is in the past tense. You can see here, the reporting verb is said. The teacher said, I will check the notebooks. How did we convert it into indirect speech? The teacher said that she would check the notebooks here. I became she, will became would. After that, it was all about the simple present to past, simple present to simple past, present continuous to past continuous, present perfect to past continuous, and will and shall to would and should. But now there is one another thing. If the direct speech is in the simple past, how will we change it into, or how will we convert it into indirect speech? The simple past in the direct speech changes to past perfect in the indirect speech. Here also the reporting verb should be in past. So you can see here the direct example of direct speech. They said we completed the homework on time. When we converted it into indirect speech, it became they said that they had completed the homework on time. Here we completed is showing the past, simple past tense, but when we converted it into indirect speech, it became past perfect tense. They had completed it, showing the past perfect tense. Next is, if the main verb in the reporting speech is in the present tense, the main verb in the reporting speech, what is the reporting speech here? Neha says is the reporting speech. And what is the main verb here, or the reporting verb? Says is the reporting verb. If the main verb in the reporting speech is in the present tense, the tense of the verb in the reported speech is not changed. Here you can see that the reporting verb is in the present tense. Neha says, I like homemade food. When we convert it into indirect speech, in case when the reporting verb in the present tense, the reported speech will not change in while converting it into indirect speech. You can see Neha says that she likes homemade food. Here this sentence is in simple present. She likes homemade food is also in simple present. Next, if the main verb in the reporting speech is in the future tense, the tense of the verb in the reported speech is not changed. If the main verb is in the future tense, you can see here, will say is the main verb here, right? My sister will say is the reporting speech, will say is the reporting verb. If the reporting verb or the main verb is in the future tense, the reported speech in the indirect speech will remain same, it will not change. My sister will say she has not broken the watch. How did we convert it into indirect speech? My sister will say that she has not broken the watch. Next, if the reported speech contains some universal truth or habitual fact, the tense of the verb does not change. If in indirect speech, the reported speech contains any of the universal truth or the habitual facts, the tense in the indirect speech will not change. You can see here, the teacher said to the students, the sun rises in the east. Here the reported speech is showing the universal truth. The sun rises in the east is the universal truth. So here the teacher told the students that the sun rises in the east. The tense in the reported speech or indirect speech remained same while converting it into indirect speech. We did not modify the tense here. Next, when two actions occur at the same time in past, no change in the tense of the verb in the indirect speech is made. If we are converting an direct speech into indirect speech and there are two actions occurring at the same time in the past, there will be no tense in the verb in the indirect speech. He said, I called my mother when I heard the noise. Here we have two actions occurring together in the past. In reported speech, you can see first is I called my mother. Second is I heard the noise. Right? Two actions are here. First is I called my mother. Next is I heard the noise. So how will we convert it into indirect speech? If there are two actions occurring at the same time in past, there will be no modification in the tense. He said that he called his mother when he heard the noise. It remained the same. Now, we will learn how can we convert words from direct to indirect speech. Suppose if here words showing nearness in time or place are generally changed into words showing distance. If we have word here in direct speech, it will be there in indirect speech. In the same way, this becomes that, now becomes then, today becomes that day, thus becomes so, tomorrow becomes the next day, ago becomes before, yesterday becomes the day before or the previous day. Now we will learn rules to change the questions in indirect speech. Suppose if we have interrogative sentence or any questions in direct speech, how we can change that into indirect speech, we will learn that here. When a question is introduced by the interrogative words like what, where, etc., the words like asked, inquired, etc., written before the indirect speech, the interrogative form is changed into the assertive form in the indirect speech. The mark of interrogation is dropped. No conjunction is used if the sentence begins with a question word. So these are the rules we came to know here. Now I will show you the examples. He said to me, what is the color of your bag? As you can see here that this is the interrogative sentence or the question which is started with question word what, and here there is question mark at the end. So how will we change it? He asked me what the color of my bag was. Here first we converted it into assertive sentence, and after that we drop the question mark. Next you can see Sam asked me, where is your bag? Sam inquired where my bag is. Here also we dropped the question mark and we converted it into assertive sentence. And apart from that, we have not used here any conjunction here before the reported speech in indirect speech. And we have used words like ask, verbs like asked and inquired here. When the question is not introduced by the interrogative words like what, where, etc., the reporting verbs are followed by if or whether. In case if the question or the interrogative sentence, the interrogative sentence is not started with words, interrogative words like what, where, here the reporting verbs are followed by if. What will we do while converting it into indirect speech? Here we will use if after the reporting verb. You can see she said, will you help me? While converting it into indirect speech, we can say she asked me if I would help her. First we drop the question mark, then we used if here. Now we will learn rules to change the commands or requests in indirect speech. If there is any direct speech or sentence in direct speech in commands or requests, so how we can change that in indirect speech? We will learn it here. In reporting commands and requests, we write some verbs expressing commands and requests before the indirect speech. Example, ordered, requested. We can use this kind of verbs here as reporting verb. You can see here, the teacher said to the child, come here. Now we will convert it into indirect speech. The teacher ordered the child to go there, because come becomes go in case of changing direct speech in indirect speech. Next is the leader said, call the candidates. Here the leader is actually commanding the candidates, right? Commanding to call the candidates, right? So we can say the leader commanded to call the candidates. Now we will learn rules to change the exclamations and wishes in indirect speech. In reporting exclamation and wishes, we write some verb showing exclamation or wish before indirect speech like exclaimed, applauded, etc. Here you can see the example. The captain said, "Bravo, you have won the match." How will we convert it into indirect speech? The captain applauded them by saying that they had won the match. Next is, they said to me, may you live long. Here we can see the wish, right? So we will write it into, while changing it into indirect speech, she wished that I might live long. So it was all about direct and indirect speech. Here today we learned how we can change a direct speech into indirect speech, and apart from that we learned what are actually direct and indirect speech, and we learned that what are reporting verbs, what are reported speech, and what are reporting speech. What is reporting speech, right? So hope you all understood it very well. Please like and share my videos and subscribe my channel so that I can be motivated to provide you more and more videos in future. Thank you so much.